Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So inshallah in today's video we are going to discuss about the coordinate systems. Coordinate systems. Now, whenever we are plotting points in the graph, what we do first? We draw x-axis and y-axis as I have drawn just now, right? This is x prime, right? The right side is positive x-axis. That means here it will be 1, 2, 3 positive numbers, right? And on the negative side it will be -1, -2, -3. So this is negative side of x-axis. The point in between is the origin. It is known as O. Okay, what is the coordinate of O? That is 0, 0. Okay, and then this is y-axis. Y prime. So in the upward direction it is positive 1, 2, 3, and in the downward direction it is negative value of y. Okay, now if I ask you to plot a point, normally the points are given like this, right? For example 3, 2. This is a point. So how to get to this point? The first value that is given represents the distance you have to travel along x-axis, and this value is the distance you have to travel along y-axis. So let us do that. So x is 3. So along x-axis we will travel 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then y-axis we will travel 2. See, both of the values are positive, so I'm traveling in the positive direction of x-axis, and now I will travel along positive direction of y-axis, right? So if you see, so from here I will travel in the upper direction 2 unit, 1, 2. So I'm getting to this point, right? Okay, to this point. Now this point is known as 3, 2. Now the system that I use to locate this point is called Cartesian coordinate system. Cartesian coordinate system, I'm writing in short. Okay, Cartesian. There is another form of coordinate system which is known as polar coordinate system. Polar coordinate system. Now what we are familiar with is the Cartesian one, right? Today we will learn inshallah about polar coordinate system. Many of the information that I will mention here are not mentioned in the book, but I felt that if I mention them it will be easier for you to understand. And anyway, whenever you go to grade 11 or 12 there will be some chapters based on this. Okay, so that time it will become easier for you, and there is no harm in learning, right? So let us learn. So polar coordinate system, what is it? See, in Cartesian coordinate system, we express it in like this. Okay, first the value of x and the value of y, means the distance you have to travel along x-axis and then the distance along y-axis. In polar coordinate system, it is mentioned like this: r comma theta. Okay, the main idea of this coordinate system is to how to go to the particular point from the origin. See, when Cartesian coordinate system is mentioned, we know how far we have to travel along x-axis and how far along y-axis. So I will travel this distance along x-axis and this distance along y-axis, and I will get to this point. So to get to that point, is there any other set of information that we can use? Yes, that is polar coordinate system. Okay, for example, here the theta, if I let me show you in this way. If I join the point with the origin, okay, I will get this line. The length of this line is r. Okay, and what is theta? Theta is the angle that r, that means the line of r makes with the positive side of x-axis. Remember, the angle we will always take with the positive side of x-axis. Okay, now this angle is theta. So how to use this information? For example, if I give you a set of information like this: 5 comma 30 degree. So how will you plot this point? It's very easy. um, We have x-axis and y-axis here. So let us say we are at the origin now, and I want to get to this point. I want to locate this point. So first I will see what is the angle, 30 degree, right? So from x-axis I will make an angle 30 degree. Okay, let us say this is the line that is along 30 degree. Now along this 30 degree, how far I need to travel to get the point? That is 5, that is r, right? From the origin to the point, that distance. So from here I will go 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 4 unit, 5. So if I travel 5 unit and get to this point, then I know that this is my desired point. Okay, and r represents the length from the origin to the point. So this is my desired point. I will use different color to locate it. So you can see, using this set of information also I can locate the points, right? And that is polar coordinate system. Okay, now how to find out the value of r and theta? For example, if I give you the Cartesian coordinate system, that means x and y, the value of x and y are given, you have to find r, the value of x and y, conversion between themselves. Okay, so first we need to develop the formula, right? Okay, so if you can see, we have formed a right angle triangle here, right? Okay, and for this right angle triangle, this side is the hypotenuse, that r is the hypotenuse, and the distance that we are traveling along x-axis, let us represent that for now by x, and the distance that we will travel along y-axis, that is represented by y. Okay, means the information will be given in this format. So in general, the value of x and y, definitely it will be given like 3 comma 2, something like that. But for now we want to develop a general formula. That's why we are considering that the first value, let us say it is x, and the second value is represented by y. So between r, x and y, as it is a right angle triangle, we can develop a relation using the Pythagoras theorem, right? If you remember, the as the opposite of 90 degree, that is r, it is the hypotenuse. So hypotenuse square will be on the left hand side, and the other two side square will be on the right hand side, right? So from here, if I want to find the value of r, the square, it will be root over on the right hand side. So this is the formula that we can use to find out the value of r. Okay, now what about theta? See, what we know here, we will know the value of x and y. So for this theta, see, this y is opposite, right? And this x is the adjacent, right? Opposite and adjacent. Using opposite and adjacent, what trigonometric ratio is there? Yes, tan theta. So tan theta equal to, we can write y divided by x. Now remember, when we are considering this y and x, sometimes if the point is in this quadrant, the value of x will be negative, the value of y will be positive. Okay, whatever the value it is, we will only consider the number, not the sign. Okay, if the value of x is -3, we will put here only 3. Okay, we will not put the minus sign, because here we are considering the length. Okay, how long it is, what is the length of this part. So length can never be negative. So remember, it's better if I put a modulus sign here, right? Okay, so if I put a modulus sign here, then that will represent the it will tell you that the value will be considered only, absolute value. If it is, even if it is -3, okay, the more absolute value of -3 is 3, so we will put 3 only here. Okay, like that, no negative value will be here. So from here, if I want to find out the value of theta, then it will be tan inverse y by x. Okay, so that is the formula to find out the value of theta. Now there is a little bit of problem with the value of theta. Why? See, so for now this is in the first quadrant, right? So this is in the first quadrant. But what if our angle is in the second quadrant? This formula that we have developed, it is It can be used if the angle is in the first quadrant. But what if the point is in the second quadrant? Then what will happen? Let us say a point is here. Okay, so we will complete a right angle triangle here. We know that this will be R. The formula of R will be same for all the quadrants. This is applicable for all the quadrants, no problem. Okay, but here the problem is, whenever you find out theta using this one, this formula, you will get the value of this. Okay, you will get the value of this angle. But I already told you that theta, this represents angle with the positive side of x-axis. So what we need is actually the angle that this line forms with the positive side. This is the positive side of x-axis, right? So with this side, what angle it forms, we need that only. Correct or not? Okay, so at this angle is what? Tan inverse y by x. Let us consider this one for now theta prime, because our desired angle theta here is this one. Now this total angle theta plus theta prime, both of them together will form 180 degree. Correct or not? Take a closer look. The total angle 180 degree. So this part is theta and this part is theta prime. So theta and theta prime together they will form 180 degree. So if I want to find out the value of theta, what I have to do? Theta prime, I have to shift it to the right hand side. So this will be the value of theta. Now theta prime is actually what? Theta prime is actually tan inverse y by x. So we will write 180 degree minus tan inverse y divided by x. So this is the formula to find out the value of theta if the point is in second quadrant. Okay, so let's mention it here that this formula is for second quadrant. Okay, what about what if the angle is in the third quadrant? Let us see. For each quadrant we have to know the formula for theta. The value the formula for r will be same. Okay, it will not change. Again we have x-axis and y-axis, and now let us say our point is in the third quadrant. This is the third quadrant. So we will draw perpendicular on x-axis and we will join it with the origin. So this is x and this is y now. Okay, now if you take tan inverse y by x, okay, now this will be this angle. Okay, so let us consider this one to be theta prime, that is this is theta prime. Okay, and I have to know this angle, right? From the positive side of x-axis till here, what is the angle? So you can see that in this total angle, if I divide it into two parts, like this part is 180 degree, this part is 180 degree, right? So in total angle theta, theta is which one? The full angle. Okay, the angle that we need to know, that can be divided into two parts, that is 180 degree plus theta prime, right? 180 degree plus theta prime. Correct or not? Think. Okay, so if I replace the value of theta prime, then it will be tan inverse y by x. And remember, I'm using the modular sign to make you remember that if the value of y and x, even if they are negative, we will not put the negative sign here. Okay, so this is the expression for theta if the point is in the sorry, I wanted to make a box. If the point is in the third quadrant. Okay, so this is the formula. Now let us go to the fourth quadrant. For the fourth quadrant, the point will be somewhere, let us say here. So on the positive side of x-axis we will draw a perpendicular, so this will give us the value of or the length of x, and this will be the y, and if I join it with the origin, okay, I will get this is r. Now if I take this angle, that tan inverse y by x. If I take this one, then this will be this angle. But what I need to know, I need to know this angle from the positive side of x-axis. What is this angle? So this is theta, and this angle, let us consider this one as theta prime. Now theta and theta prime together, they form 360 degree, right? Because you are starting from this line and you are coming back to this line when you add these two angle. So theta plus let us mention here that this is theta prime, this is for fourth quadrant, we are doing the calculation, and this is for the third quadrant. So theta plus theta prime together, they will form 360 degree. So theta will be equal to 360 degree minus theta prime. So 360 minus tan inverse y by x. So that will be the value of theta, 360 degree minus y by x. Okay, so this expression will give us the value of theta for fourth quadrant. Okay, this is for fourth quadrant. So now we have learned how to convert the coordinate system. If it is in Cartesian system, then how can we convert to polar system, right? So that is r and theta. From x, y, we can convert to r comma theta now, right? So that is the conversion process. I hope you understood. Now let us use one or two example. Okay, let us see how to do that. For the first quadrant, it is quite simple. Okay, the point will be like 3 comma 2, as I have already taken in the previous slide. So this is the value of x and this is the value of y. Let us try to find out the value of r and theta from here. Okay, so r will be, root over 3 square plus 2 square. So 3 square 9, 2 square 4, so root over 13. And the value of theta, for the first quadrant, it is very simple, tan inverse y by x. So y is 2 and x is 3. So if you write this part in the calculator, then you will get the value of theta. Okay, don't worry about this modulus sign. You don't have to write this modulus sign. Just in the calculator, you have to write tan inverse 2 by 3. Now, some of you might find it hard to find the tan inverse button. It is actually, if you press shift and then you press the 10, you will get tan inverse. Okay, just above the 10 button, it is tan inverse written. So I hope you can find out. So this is for the first quadrant. Now let us try to solve for the second quadrant. In the second quadrant, you will see, as we have to travel in the negative direction of x-axis, the value of x will be negative and the value of y will be positive. Now for r, it's same. Okay, for r there is nothing to worry. We will put the value as it is and the answer will be 13 again, because whenever you do square, the minus vanishes. Okay, then for the second quadrant, what was the formula to find out theta? If you remember, it was 180 degree minus tan inverse y by x, right? So here we don't need to put the modulus sign anymore because we are directly putting the value. So I told you that even if there is negative, we will avoid the negative. So the value, this is x and this is y. So y by x means 2 by 3. Okay, do not put minus 3 here. That is what I was saying all along. So yeah, if you write it in the calculator, you will get the value, inshallah. That is for second quadrant. Now for third quadrant, the point will be like minus 3 minus 2. So r will be root over minus 3 whole square minus 2 whole square. So it will be again root over 13, because a negative sign actually does not affect the value of r because we have to do square here. What about theta? For that, the format of equation was not tan inverse 180 degree plus. If you go to the previous slide, I will show you. See, for the third quadrant, this is the format. Okay, you have to memorize it. 180 degree plus tan inverse y by x. So we will find it out by 180 degree plus tan inverse Even if there is minus, we will not consider it. So y is 2, x is 3. Okay, we have to put this way. Or if you want to put the minus, you can put the modulus sign. So modulus sign automatically indicates that even if the minus sign is there, we will not consider it. So either you can put the negative sign and the modulus sign also, or if you don't want to put the modulus sign, then you, do not put the negative sign. Okay, so there are ways of doing. And for the fourth quadrant, the point will be the, we have to go in the positive side of x-axis and then negative side of y-axis. So 3 comma minus 2. So r will be same 3 square minus 2 square, it will be root over 13, and then theta, we saw that it is 360 degree minus tan inverse 2 by 3. Okay, even if there is minus, we will not consider it. So that is how you have to find the value of r and theta from the value of x and y.